Thank you for joining Quick Tips for Nonprofits. Today's Quick Tip will focus on donations and donation receipts. Community Law Center is a legal services provider for nonprofit organizations and community organizations throughout Maryland. Community Law Center can help nonprofits with a variety of legal issues, everything from entity formation, board governance, and necessary filings, to issues with property, zoning, contracts, employment, nuisance issues, liquor board matters, intellectual property, and many other matters. Today's quick tip is just for informational purposes and should not be construed as legal advice, which really should be tailored to your organization. If you wish to become a client of the Community Law Center, your organization can submit a simple application. Many nonprofits are unfamiliar with best practices for keeping records of various donations and may be unsure of what needs to be provided in receipts for donations in various situations. We will cover these donation issues. To start off, there are different types of donations that nonprofits may receive: monetary and non-monetary or in-kind donations. Monetary donations are what you might expect, including cash, checks, Venmo, or PayPal, and most organizations do make sure to keep records of these monetary contributions and have some kind of fiscal policy, but they may not be as sure of what to do with in-kind donations. In-kind donations are non-monetary goods or services, and an example of goods would be if a cafe donates refreshments for one of your events. Goods can also include the loan of something, such as someone letting you use equipment or office space. In-kind goods should be recorded with date and donor name as usual, but also for your own records, you should note the reasonable fair market value of those goods. So for example, for the cafe's refreshments, you can refer to their menu prices, or for equipment rental, you should note how much the rental would usually cost, or what normal rent for office space is in our examples. This value is not affected by whether or not the organization could have afforded to pay this. For larger revenue nonprofits who file the IRS Form 990, in-kind goods donations are required to be reported on the 990. Besides goods, for in-kind services, not every service provided by volunteers necessarily needs to be recorded, but if it was an entity that provided the service, you will want to record the service, or if the service was such that would normally require payment, such as professional accounting, legal assistance, or other such services, or if the service added to or enhanced the value of your organization, in-kind services should be recorded. Sometimes a funder may request information about in-kind donations because in-kind donations can reveal a lot about your support from the community and your impact in the community. Now we get to the question of receipts. When do nonprofits need to provide donation receipts, and what information needs to be included? There are two main scenarios to be aware of with receipts. First is where a simple donation was made with no quid pro quo, meaning that you gave nothing of value in return. For these donations, you should be able to give a receipt, especially if the donation was over $250. In the second scenario, where something was given in return, for donations over $75 with quid pro quo, you are actually required to give a disclosure. So we'll talk first more about receipts, and then we'll move on to disclosures. 501c3 organizations attract donations in part because donors' contributions to you are tax deductible for them. But for each donation over $250, the IRS requires the donor to have a receipt describing the donation, the organization's name, and the date of the donation. And when you give these receipts, it should also state that nothing of value was given in return for the donation. Or if you're a religious organization, that only intangible religious benefits were given. If you received a non-monetary donation, please do not estimate a value in your description of the donation. So for example, on the receipt, under description, you can just say 8 used Epson inkjet color printers. Determining fair market value can get complicated depending on the type of the item and condition that the item is in, and thankfully this is not your responsibility. Some donors may ask you for a receipt even if the value of a non-monetary contribution was well under $250, and that's because non-monetary donations require more of these kinds of records. Moving on to disclosures, if you did give something of value in return for a donation that was over $75, you are required to provide a disclosure. Your disclosure should describe the donation, the name of your organization, the date that the donation was given, as well as the fair market value of what you gave in return for that donation. And you should also include a clear statement that only the difference of the donation and the value received in return may be tax deductible. So for example, if you were offering a gift basket worth $60 and someone provided a $90 donation and received that gift basket, then only 90 minus 60, which is $30, would be tax deductible for them. You may be subject to penalties if you fail to provide these disclosures, so please do give the disclosure. If not when you receive the contribution, then at least when you solicit the contribution. Please contact us with questions. There are some additional details that we couldn't cover in Quick Tips, such as if you receive donations of vehicles, there are other disclosures that you need to provide. We can help you draft a form receipt to cover all the donation scenarios that your organization encounters. Thanks for checking out today's Quick Tip. Please visit our website, communitylaw.org. You can see our workshops on a variety of topics. You can access helpful publications and find more Quick Tips. If you would like to speak with an attorney, we are offering brief legal advice over the phone, so please sign up on our website. Or if you're ready to receive legal assistance on a matter, you can find our application to download and submit as well. Take care.